Hello everybody. My name is Cinepop and today I'm going over every single controversy that I could find on Devsisters and Cookie Run as a whole. Now before the video starts, please do not let my video misguide your judgment on the company, as this is strictly for research purposes, as there are some good qualities in this company and the many games and comics they've introduced over the years. Not only that, some of the content in this video is alleged, so take this video with a grain of salt. With all that done and said, I hope you enjoy the video. When Dark Cacao was originally introduced to Cookie Run Kingdom, he was a big deal at the time, but after his first introduction he became useless over time, because he didn't have that much use aside from the arena. Unlike the other cookies in his rarity, when the players were playing and reading through his story, alongside watching the trailers for the new Beast Cookie Mystic Flower, everyone believed that he would be getting into the meta. That way long-time fans and players of Dark Cacao Cookie would get another chance of using him in action. And he did get in, but with a small twist. Instead of giving him a massive buff like Pure Vanilla and Hollyberry, they decided to try and resell him to both beginner and long-time players a second time, which meant that the Dark Cacao they currently had wasn't getting buffed. Instead, a second version of him would be put out, and you had to buy, roll and build him all over again, causing both international and Korean Cookie Run Kingdom players to protest by boycotting and cancelling their subscriptions in outrage at the new Gacha Pool update. The protesting had gotten so bad to the point that the Korean fanbase of Cookie Run Kingdom had, allegedly, bought and placed trucks outside of Devsisters' company door to protest on the new role update. Thankfully, Devsisters did come out with an apology and implemented an upgrade system, which should have been implemented in the first place. There are a lot of reasons why many players did not like Snapdragon Cookie's introduction to the game, but the most common reasons had to do with how to receive Snapdragon and their special grade type. The reason why people were upset at this was due to the fact that Devsisters had previously introduced Dragon grade cookies in their previous update prior to Snapdragon's appearance. Not only that, but the only way to receive Snapdragon was by opening them in the laboratory, with the maximum chances of waking them were 15. Many players complained that Snapdragon's rank didn't make any sense as Snapdragon Cookie is a dragon just like Pattaya Dragon Cookie, and that they were purposely separating them to make another cash grab on their players. The reason why people didn't like this update had to do with the introduction of Crimson Coral Cookie's introduction, aka the cookie pulls for the super epic type cookies. You had to grind for the very slim chance of getting Crimson Coral Cookie, or use the Coral tier. Shard pulls a total of 5,000 times in order to get a guaranteed pull of Crimson Coral Cookie. Not only that, they added 3 more mermaid cookies that could walk around your kingdom. Now this wouldn't be bad if they weren't guest cookies and you had to go through the iridescent shells in order to collect 10 seafoam gems to meet at least one of the cookies for your kingdom. The reason why people didn't really like this aspect of the minigame was that people felt like Devsisters was trying to coax people into using their money to get the passes to further heighten their chances and obtaining one of them. People were calling out Devsisters and the Cookie Run developers specifically for this update because of the new characters, the skins and new costumes for the jellies in Cookie Run Ovenbreak. You might not understand why people did not like this update, and so I will give you brief context on why this update was horrible, starting with the characters. For now, I will be generalizing everyone in the Middle Eastern, Asian and West African continents in this category as SWANA, which stands for Southwest Asian and North African, to not bring any confusion to those who watch this video. Number 1. Devsisters had made a fake stereotype of Swanian women, depicting them as promiscuous, aka centipede and scorpion cookie, and how they were animated. You can see this in the Shadow of the Dunes meet centipede cookie, which will be presented in this video. Number 2. Lilac and Yogurt Cookie were designed and referenced around a fantasial telling of the Southwest, and did not depict what Swannian people actually wore during this time. Here are some fan redesigns of Yogurt Cream Cookie and Lilac Cookie, which depicted what actual Swanna people wore. Credits go to Scarabia on DeviantArt for these pieces. Number 3. The NPCs in the game were depicted as the shady brown businessmen who would sell illegal weapons, items and other questionable and dangerous properties in back alleys or markets at night. Number 4. The entirety of Yogurka is an elitist classist depiction of classism and elitism, depicting that most of Yogurka is poor, decrepit and dangerous, while Yogurt Cookie and his family is in a prestigious, high-class living as royalty. Number 5. The existence of Peppercorn Cookie is outright blatant racism, and this is because of the time they chose to push this update with Peppercorn Cookie alongside the set they brought with her. For people who don't know, Ramadan is celebrated in the month of April, and Ramadan is celebrated by Muslims. Basically, they made a terrorist cookie around the same time. Muslims celebrated Ramadan, and Muslims already have it bad enough to be called terrorists and suicide bombers. And the fact that Devsisters chose Ramadan, of all days, is the worst thing they could have done for their fanbase and game as a whole. Devsisters, after getting burned at the stake by the fandom, which they rightfully deserved for their big screw-up, did a few changes to the set by removing the set entirely from the video, which still was not enough, as they should have scrapped Peppercorn Cookie, alongside write a formal apology to their fans and gave us a new cookie that was not a harmful stereotype depicting Muslims in a bad light. Apparently, and this is alleged, the CEO of Devsisters, Bae Hyung-gok, joined the livestream of Cookie Run to answer some questions regarding future updates on Cookie Run Ovenbreak. But whenever the fans asked him questions regarding previously mentioned issues of the game, he either avoided the question or gave a basic answer without giving any actual solutions to the problems that the game faced. And because of this, the Korean chat for Cookie Run got angry and started hurling insults in the live chat towards them. At the end of the live stream, Rose had broke down in tears and said, "The fact that we're here means we're trying to change and improve. And the fact that you guys keep on talking to us means that you believe we will change, right? But if you keep on saying, they don't listen to a thing we say, nothing's going to be fixed. That's not us being arrogant. That's you being arrogant." This response did not slide well in the Korean fanbase of Cookie Run Ovenbreak and left them enraged at Rose's assumption. And because of this, the Korean view of CM Rose has been shifted to negative, meaning most of CM Rose's fans were filled with anti-fans, haters. As a result of the Korean and English language barriers, the English players of Cookie Run assumed that Devsisters were trying to use Rose as a meat shield, which, to be fair, they weren't all that wrong, against the harsh criticisms of the Korean fanbase, which in turn created the hashtag #SaveRoseTag on both Discord and Twitter. This piece is stripped from the Reddit post by Ty Degenerate. As of right now, CM Rose has permanently stopped her live streams to prepare for better content for future streams, but the general view is that streams will never come back because of this incident. For the people who have never heard of this issue, Cookie Run was under fire by their community for trying to implement NFT-based art into Cookie Run Ovenbreak. NFTs are harmful to the environment and consume about 91 terawatt-hours of electricity to make. It had gotten so bad that they started receiving dislike bombing and got boycotted by almost everyone in their community. When Devsisters realized that this new update would bankrupt their company, they issued an apology for trying to implement NFTs into their mobile games. And since then, their fandom has dropped drastically. Now, it is mostly filled with pay-to-win players and old-gen Cookie Run players, as a lot of people have dropped the fandom as a whole from Devsisters' NFT stunt, which they sadly are still continuing, allegedly. This one might be a bit confusing for you guys, So I'm going to try and contextualize what happened during this time, as I was also in the fandom around 2020. The reason why people had an issue with Milk Cookie's design was due to the fact that Milk Cookie's default outfit was possibly based on the Crusaders. If you don't know what Crusaders are, they are Christian warriors who partook in multiple religious wars which were primarily aimed at quote-unquote reclaiming the Holy Land from Muslims through the means of violent slaughtering, forcibly imprinting their Christian values alongside looting of Jews. Not only that, Milk Cookie has a motif on both his shield and mace that resembles that of the Iron Cross used by Nazis. Sadly, I cannot show the photo here as I do not want to risk this video getting into any issues, but feel free to look it up on your own. And that's it. Thank you so much for staying here long enough to watch the full video, as this is my first time doing a full research on a company this large. Not only that, this video wouldn't be possible without some of the people I've mentioned during this video, as some of the content here was very hard to find. So a huge shout out goes to them as well. If you like my content and want to see more, please let me know what I should do for my next video. And with that done and said, I hope you have a wonderful day.